ask you with my yellow light on a question about the summer of 2000 alert. You were saying, the CIA was saying, everybody was saying something spectacular is about to happen. Spiking in intelligence, something terrible is about to happen. You've told us in some of our interviews, you only wish you would have known at that time, in that summer, what the FBI knew with regard to Moussaoui, the Phoenix memo, and terrorists in the United States. What could you have done with some of that information, with these spiked alerts, with the spectacular attack on the horizon in the summer of 2001?
Well, Congressman, it is very easy in retrospect to say that I would have done this or I would have done that. And we'll never know. I would like to think that had I been informed by the FBI that two senior al-Qaeda operatives who had been in a planning meeting earlier in Kuala Lumpur were now in the United States, and we knew that, and we knew their names, and I think we even had their pictures, I would like to think that I would have released, or would have had the FBI release a press release with their names, with their descriptions, held a press conference, tried to get their names and pictures on the front page of every paper, America's Most Wanted, the Evening News, and caused a successful nationwide manhunt for those two of the 19 hijackers. But I don't know, because you're asking me a hypothetical, and I have the benefit now of 20/20 hindsight.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the patience.
I read from the FBI's Office of the Inspector General report, which was publicly released in June 2006. In this section of the chapter, the discussion involves information sharing with the FBI, which was impeded by the inadequate facilities of the handling of intelligence information in the two field offices most directly involved in the Hazmi al-Mihdhar matter. The report, a review of the FBI's handling of intelligence information relating to the September 11 attacks. Chapter 3, Section 4, the San Diego's FBI's preliminary investigation of Omar al-Bayoumi. As discussed above, Omar al-Bayoumi is a Saudi national who in January 2000 had been living in the United States for approximately 6 years, was well paid by a Saudi company that contracted with the Saudi government and was involved in setting up mosques in the San Diego area. Nawaf al-Hazmi and Khalid al-Mihdhar met Omar al-Bayoumi in Los Angeles approximately 2 weeks after entering the United States in January 2000. A few days later, they moved to San Diego, where Omar al-Bayoumi assisted them in obtaining an apartment in the complex where he lived. They lived in this complex for 4 months. Bayoumi's name had first surfaced at the FBI in 1995 in connection with other investigations. Bayoumi's name resurfaced at the FBI on August 31, 1998, when his apartment manager contacted the FBI to report her suspicions regarding Bayoumi's activities. The manager reported that she had been notified by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service in March of 1998 that al-Bayoumi had been sent a suspicious package from the Middle East. According to the manager, the package had broken open and had a number of wires protruding from it. She reported further that the apartment complex maintenance man had noticed a number of wires protruding from the bathroom, beneath the bathroom sink in Bayoumi's master bedroom. She reported that there had been large meetings of men who, based upon their dress, appeared to be Middle Eastern, gathering in al-Bayoumi's apartment on weekend evenings. She had also complained that several parking spots were being illegally used by the people gathering at al-Bayoumi's apartment. On September 8, 1998, the San Diego FBI opened a preliminary inquiry on al-Bayoumi. The assigned agent checked FBI indices for further information regarding al-Bayoumi and conducted other investigative steps. The agent contacted the U.S. Postal Inspection Service in reference to the alleged suspicious package sent to al-Bayoumi. A postal inspector advised the FBI agent that suspicious did not necessarily mean nefarious, and the vast majority of suspicious packages were benign. The postal inspector reviewed the report relating to the al-Bayoumi package and told the agent that the package had been deemed suspicious because it had no customs papers or appropriate postage and originated in Saudi Arabia. According to the report, there was no record of any wires protruding from the package. Al-Bayoumi had retrieved the package and it was no longer called a suspect parcel. According to the FBI agent, the apartment manager agreed to record the license plate numbers of the meeting participants. However, the manager later advised the agent that meetings had dwindled to a few participants and then stopped altogether. The agent asked fellow FBI agents to ask their logical sources for information regarding Omar al-Bayoumi. The sources related the following concerning the man himself. 1. Al-Bayoumi was married with small children and had recently completed a master's degree program, and he was looking for a PhD program, but his test scores were too low. He was approximately 30 years old and unemployed. 2. Al-Bayoumi was a Saudi who regularly attended the Islamic Center for San Diego, the ICSD. He was married with children and was working on a master's or other advanced degrees. 3. Al-Bayoumi reportedly delivered $400,000 to the Islamic Kurdish community in El Cajon, California, in order to build a mosque. Source opined Al-Bayoumi must be an agent of a foreign power or an agent of Saudi Arabia. 4. Al-Bayoumi was in the U.S. on a student visa but was applying for a green card. Al-Bayoumi claimed to have a master's degree and was working on a PhD. His father was sending him $3,000 a month for support while he was in school. The FBI agent also contacted the INS in reference to Al-Bayoumi's immigration status. An INS special agent advised that Al-Bayoumi was in the U.S. on an F-1 student visa, but his work visa had expired. However, the INS reported that his visa could be renewed. The FBI agent received no further substantive information in response to various information checks. According to the agent, the only remaining option was to conduct an interview of Omar al-Bayoumi. After her supervisor consulted with fellow FBI agents who were working on a large, sensitive counterterrorism investigation involving an alleged terrorist organization, the supervisor instructed the agent not to conduct the subject interview of Omar al-Bayoumi. The agent told the Office of the Inspector General that she did not believe the decision was inappropriate based on the potential effect of such an interview on the other sensitive investigation. On June 7, 1999, the FBI closed its preliminary inquiry on Omar al-Bayoumi, and he was no longer actively under investigation by the FBI. The FBI case agent told the Office of the Inspector General that she had no concrete information linking al-Bayoumi to any terrorist activities. She stated that the allegations that gave rise to the preliminary investigation were not substantiated. With respect to the source reporting that al-Bayoumi had received large sums of money from overseas, the case agent explained that it was not unusual for foreign students, especially from Saudi Arabia, to regularly receive money, even large sums of money. Therefore, the case agent did not consider this to be inherently suspicious. The agent's squad supervisor at that time and other agents on the squad also told the Office of the Inspector General that it was not unusual or suspicious from Saudi students to have received large sums of money from Saudi Arabia. As stated, one source had provided unverified information that al-Bayoumi could potentially be a Saudi intelligence operative or source. According to the agent, al-Bayoumi was allegedly very involved with and interested in Saudi affairs in San Diego, and this probably led to the suspicious inclinations about al-Bayoumi's connection to the Saudi government. However, the agent told the Office of the Inspector General that Saudi Arabia was not listed as a threat country, and the Saudis were considered allies of the United States. Therefore, al-Bayoumi's potential involvement with the Saudi Arabian government would not have affected the FBI's decision to close the preliminary inquiry. The squad supervisor at the time of our investigation, who had been an agent on the squad for several years, told the Office of the Inspector General that before September 11th, the Saudi Arabian government was considered an ally of the United States, and that a report of an individual being an agent of the Saudi government would not have been considered a priority. Other agents on the squad also said that a source reporting that an individual was an agent of the Saudi government would not have been cause for concern because the Saudi government was considered an ally of the United States. In addition, the case agent explained that more intrusive investigation techniques could not be conducted because of the restrictions of the Attorney General FCI guidelines in effect at the time. No meaningful surveillance could be conducted, no bank records or other financial records could be sought, and very little investigative activity beyond fully identifying the individual could be done. In sum, we do not believe that the FBI's actions with regard to al-Bayoumi and its decision to close the preliminary inquiry were inappropriate. The agent conducted logical investigative steps that were permitted under the Attorney General guidelines in effect at the time, such as checking FBI records for information, asking other intelligence agencies for information about the subject, and asking agents to query their sources about the subject, but the agent did not uncover any information to support the allegations. The guidelines did not permit the case agent to engage in more intrusive investigative techniques, such as a clandestine search of al-Bayoumi's property, obtaining his telephone records or financial records, or secretly recording his conversations. Although the Attorney General guidelines would have permitted a subject interview of Omar al-Bayoumi prior to closing the preliminary inquiry, the decision not to conduct an interview appeared warranted, given its possible effect on an ongoing significant investigation.